A man who begs for attention is a man who has forgotten his own value. Think about it. When you lower yourself just to be noticed, you silently confess that you are not enough as you are. But a stoic man, a man of discipline and strength, knows that his worth is not measured by the approval of others, but by his own character, his own actions, his own self-respect. Attention is like fire. It burns brightly for a moment, then disappears. If you chase it, you'll always be restless, always hungry, always desperate. But if you stand firm, unmoved, and focused on your purpose, the world begins to notice without you ever asking for it. Respect, admiration, and loyalty are not things you beg for. They are things you attract by living with strength and conviction. When you beg for attention from women, you hand over your power. You shift from being the leader of your own life to being a follower of someone else's approval. And here is the truth. People do not respect what crawls to be noticed. They respect what stands tall, even in silence. A lion does not roar to be recognized. It is feared and respected because of its nature. Understand this. Your time and energy are your most valuable currencies. To spend them begging for recognition is to throw away your fortune for scraps. Instead, spend that energy building yourself. Build your body, sharpen your mind, strengthen your discipline. When you grow into the kind of man who respects himself, attention comes naturally. Women notice, people notice, the world notices. And it does so because you no longer need it. Stoicism teaches us to remain unmoved by external noise. If applause comes, let it come. If it doesn't, remain steady. A true man is not made by eyes that watch him, but by the principles he lives by when no one is watching. The man who chases. Attention is fragile, but the man who stands in solitude, content with his purpose, is unbreakable. Ask yourself this: would you rather be the man who constantly begs for recognition, or the man who is recognized simply because of his strength, discipline, and unshakable presence? The answer should be clear. Attention is never to be chased. Attention is to be earned, and even then, it is never the goal. Remember this: never beg for attention. Earn respect by being who you are. Live with discipline, stand tall, and let your silence speak louder than desperate words ever could. Because the man who does not beg for attention, becomes the man who commands it. A man who cannot control his emotions is not a man, he is a slave. He may look strong on the outside, but inside he is fragile, because anyone at any time can control him. All it takes is a word, a look, a rejection, or an insult, and he explodes, collapses, or begs. That is not strength, that is weakness in disguise. Stoicism teaches us this eternal truth. You cannot control the world, but you can always control yourself. Life will throw storms at you: betrayal, disrespect, temptation, and loss. Women, too, will test you, sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. They will observe, does this man hold his ground, or does he crumble? And believe me, the world has no respect for the man who crumbles. When you let anger, jealousy, or desperation rule you, you hand over your power. Imagine this: you argue, you shout, you lose control. In that moment, you are not leading. You are being led by your emotions. A man of discipline does not give others that kind of power over him. He stays calm, like a mountain, unmoved by the storm around him. Understand this: women are emotional by nature. That is not a weakness. It is part of their design. But you, as a man, must be the pillar. If she is the river, you are the rock. If she is the storm, you are the sky. Vast, unshaken, enduring. A woman may respect you for many things, but she will only trust you if you have control over yourself. Lose your temper often and you lose her respect. Act needy or desperate and you lose her attraction. So what does it mean to control your emotions? It means never letting temporary feelings destroy permanent respect. It means taking a breath when your anger rises. It means standing tall when you feel insecure. It means walking away with dignity instead of exploding. In chaos, self-mastery is not about suppressing your emotions. It is about directing them. Channel anger into discipline. Channel heartbreak into growth. Channel desire into purpose. The greatest warriors, the greatest philosophers, the greatest kings, they all knew this. The man who masters himself cannot be defeated. His enemies may strike him, but they cannot break him. His rivals may insult him, but they cannot move him. His losses may wound him, but they cannot destroy him. And that is what makes a Stoic legend. Ask yourself, are you in control of your emotions, or are your emotions in control of you? The answer determines whether you are a king of yourself or a prisoner of your impulses. So remember this, brother. Never let emotions rule you. They are powerful servants, but terrible masters. You must be the master. You must be calm, steady, and unshakable. Because when a man controls his emotions, he controls his destiny. Control yourself, lead yourself, become unshakable. A man without purpose is like a ship without a compass, adrift, lost, and at the mercy of every passing wave. And nothing sinks men faster than chasing pleasure at the cost of their mission. Understand this. Women, comfort, entertainment, indulgence, these things are not evil. But when they become your master, when you place them above your mission, you are no longer a man of discipline. You are a man enslaved by desire. A Stoic man knows that his highest calling is his purpose. It is the foundation of his strength, the reason he wakes up, the reason he endures pain, the reason he becomes unshakable. Without purpose, pleasure becomes poison. With purpose, pleasure becomes balance. How many men have fallen because they forgot this truth? They traded their discipline for distraction. They abandoned their mission for lust, for comfort, for fleeting satisfaction. And what was the result? Weakness, regret, emptiness. Because when the pleasure fades, all that remains is the haunting question, what did I build? What did I leave behind? Brother, hear this. Women are drawn to men of purpose, not men of pleasure. She will admire the man who is devoted to something greater than himself. She will test you, yes. She will see if you lose yourself in her, or if you stand firm in your path. If you sacrifice your purpose to win her approval, you will lose both. But if you keep your mission first, you may gain both her respect and your destiny. Pleasure is temporary. Purpose is eternal. One is consumed in a moment, the other builds a legacy that outlives you. The Stoics taught us not to deny pleasure, but to never let it rule us. Eat, but do not overeat. Love, but do not lose yourself. Rest, but do not abandon your work. Balance is key, but priority is everything. A man of pleasure lives for today. A man of purpose builds for eternity. Which will you be? The truth is this, your purpose will demand sacrifice. It will demand early mornings, long nights, and the strength to say no when the world screams yes. It will demand that you walk alone while others indulge. But the reward, greatness, fulfillment, the unshakable peace of knowing you lived with meaning. So I ask you, will you trade your mission for temporary comfort, or will you rise above, disciplined, committed, unstoppable? The answer defines whether you are remembered as a man who lived for himself, or a man who lived for something greater. Never forget, pleasure fades, but purpose remains. Choose wisely. Purpose first, pleasure second. Legacy forever. A man without boundaries is like a fortress with no walls, easy to invade, easy to conquer, and easy to destroy. Respect begins with the lines you draw for yourself, and if you do not protect those lines, no one else will. Understand this clearly. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about controlling yourself, about declaring what you will allow and what you will never tolerate. When a man sets no standards, when he allows disrespect, betrayal, or manipulation without consequence, he invites chaos into his life. He teaches the world to walk over him. And here is the truth. People do not respect the man who does not respect himself. A Stoic man knows his worth. He does not bend his principles just to be liked. He does not compromise his integrity just to be loved. He stands firm because he knows every time you let someone cross your boundary, you lose a piece of your dignity. Every time you remain silent in the face of disrespect, you give away your crown. Boundaries are not about anger. They are not about control. They are about strength. They are about self-respect. When you say, this is where I stand, and this is where I do not bend, you create a force around you that others can feel. Women respect it. Men respect it. The world respects it. And yes, brother, you will be tested. She will test your limits, not always with bad intentions, but to see if you truly mean what you say. If you fail, if you bend, if you break your own rules, she will note this man does not believe in himself. But if you stand firm, calm, and unshaken, she will know this is a man who cannot be moved. Boundaries are not chains. They are shields. They protect your energy, your time, your heart, and your mission. Without them, you will drown in other people's demands. Without them, you will lose yourself in the chaos of trying to please everyone. But with them, you stand tall, strong, unshakable, a fortress that no storm can destroy. Ask yourself this: what do you tolerate that you should not? Where have you allowed disrespect? Where have you betrayed yourself just to keep the peace? These are the places where you must rebuild your walls. Do it without fear. Do it without guilt. Because a man who cannot protect his boundaries cannot protect his purpose. Remember this: the world does not give you respect. You command it by the way you carry yourself. Boundaries are your declaration of self. Respect. Do not apologize for them. Do not explain them. Live them. Enforce them. Because the man who respects his boundaries is the man who cannot be broken. Stand firm. Protect your lines. Respect yourself first. One of the greatest powers a man can have is the ability to walk away, not in anger, not in weakness, but in calm strength. To walk away is not to lose, it is to protect your dignity, your peace, and your mission. Many men remain trapped in situations that drain them, relationships built on disrespect, arguments that go in circles, environments that kill their growth. Why? Because they fear walking away. They cling to what is breaking them, believing that holding on proves strength. But hear this truth: it takes far more strength to walk away than to stay chained to something that no longer serves your purpose. A Stoic man does not beg for respect. He does not chase after what is walking away from him. He does not remain where he is not valued. Instead, he remains loyal to himself. He knows that his greatest asset is his self-respect, and he will never trade it for temporary comfort. To walk away is to declare, I am not afraid to lose what is not aligned with my values. And when you carry this spirit, the world respects you. Women respect you. Even those who tested your limits will recognize your strength. Because nothing is more powerful than a man who is not afraid of loss. Understand this: walking away is not about pride. It is not about ego. It is about clarity. It is about knowing when the battle is not worth fighting. The Stoics remind us that our time is short, our energy is precious, and our peace is sacred. It's us. Why waste them on things that drain you when they can be invested in your growth, your mission, your legacy? The weak man clings. The strong man releases. The weak man fears being alone. The strong man walks in solitude with confidence. A man who walks away with strength is not empty. He is free. Free to rebuild, free to refocus, free to pursue what truly matters. And yes, brother, women will test this in you. They will push, they will pull, they will see. Will he tolerate disrespect? Will he bend his standards? Will he stay no matter what? The weak man stays, begging for crumbs. The strong man walks unshaken, and in doing so, he earns respect far beyond the approval he once begged for. Ask yourself this: what in your life is draining you? What are you holding on to that is beneath your standards? What are you afraid to let go of? The answer to these questions reveals where you must walk away. And when you do it with calm strength, without anger, without noise, simply with the quiet power of a man who knows his worth. Never forget, a man who cannot walk away is a prisoner, but a man who can walk away is free. Do not cling. Do not beg. Walk away with strength and become unshakable. The greatest tragedy for a man is not losing a woman, not losing wealth, not losing status. It is losing himself. A man who abandons his core, his values, his principles, for the sake of pleasing others has already surrendered the very thing that makes him powerful, his identity. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in self-mastery and integrity. To remain true to yourself means to stand firm in who you are, even when the world tries to pull you in every direction. It means not changing your principles just to be accepted, not betraying your values just to be loved, and not lowering your standards just to avoid being alone. Many men lose themselves in the pursuit of approval. They bend, they twist, they wear masks, all to be liked, admired, or desired. But what is the cost? They become strangers in their own skin. They wake up one day realizing they are living a life designed by others, not by themselves. That is not strength. That is slavery. A Stoic man knows who he is, and he does not compromise. He can adapt without losing his essence. He can love without losing his identity. He can serve without becoming a servant. He lives with a spine of iron and a heart of fire, flexible in the winds of life, but unbreakable at his core. Remaining true to yourself does not mean being stubborn for the sake of pride. It means being grounded in your values. If honesty is your principle, do not trade it for convenience. If discipline is your path, do not abandon it for comfort. If respect is your standard, do not lower it for validation. Every compromise you make against your core chips away at your strength. Every stand you take for your principles sharpens it. Women will test this, brother. The world will test this. They will try to see if you bend, if you change, if you betray yourself to gain approval. And when you stand firm, calm, steady, unshaken, you earn respect that cannot be faked. Because people may admire your skills, your looks, your wealth, but they will only trust and follow the man who is true to himself. Ask yourself this: who am I when no one is watching? Who am I when I have nothing to gain? Who am I when I have everything to lose? The answers to these questions reveal whether you are living as your true self or as a mask for the world. Remember this: women come and go, wealth rises and falls, status fades with time, but your character, your essence remains. Do not trade it for anything. Protect it like a sacred fire. Because when you remain true to yourself, you become the rarest kind of man, unshakable, unbreakable, unforgettable. Stay true, stay grounded, be the man who cannot be moved.